What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Josh with Kikos, and man, let me tell you what, it is early this morning. It's 3:29 right now. Reason why we're up so early, we got a pretty cool day. I've got a pretty neat deal planned, and I think you guys are going to like it. We're going to visit another Kiko goat ranch, and we're picking up our new buck today. So I'm going to bring you guys along, show you that farm, and then you're going to get a look at our new herd sire. We still got BT, but we're adding another big buck to our program, and man, I think it's going to make a big difference. So let's take you guys along and let's go check it out. Alright guys, we made it to Fort Cobb, Oklahoma, to Deep Creek Kikos, and here's the new buck we're getting. His name is Megawatt, and he is a biggin. He is drastically going to improve our herd. With him and BT in our program, he's really going to make a big difference. Here's some of Tim and Tracy's doe herd. They got some nice does in here. Are most of these New Zealand's?
Actually, the red tags are New Zealand's, the white tags are purebreds, and I think that's all he's got in here is New Zealand's and purebreds.
Were these the ones that you bred, the Megawatt?
Yes, these are all Megawatt. These are going to kid with Megawatt this year.
So Tim's pretty smart here. Before we got him, he put several does with Megawatt so he can have his kid crop too. So Megawatt will be producing some here in Oklahoma, and then when we get him back to Texas, we'll put some in with him too. All right, I'm here with Tim Plaster at Deep Creek Kikos, and I wanted to showcase his farm and talk about the Kikos. So Tim, why goats and why Kikos?
And it was kind of an accident. We were on a motorcycle trip down the hill country of Texas, and I just moved back here, and I was in the Air Force and was getting ready to retire, and my wife was looking at this farm that was overgrazed, and you probably couldn't raise 20 head of cows on this 160 acres. But we get down there in the hill country around Fredericksburg, and we're seeing all this high fenced area that looks really nice and manicured, and we're noticing all these goats out there, and we started to get into the Spanish goats, and we had actually talked to the Weimheiners, and we were leaning toward that direction, and Tracy did her research and started noticing these Kikos, and there's a little more money in them. They grow a little better. There's just better performance and the same parasite resistance. I think they're a hardy animal. But I think these are definitely a faster animal, faster growing animal, and they're just as hardy. So we ended up getting into the Kikos and brought them onto this farm. We've been doing about 7.5 years, and it's improved this whole farm. Our soil's better. Before we didn't have nothing but weeds, and we're starting to get some of our natural grasses back, and we could probably bring a few cows back in here and start growing some cows on our place. But that's how we got into the Kikos. It was kind of an accident, and it's been a great business to get into.
All right, Tim, I was going to ask, how many does do you run, and how many acres do you have?
Well, we got 160 acres. It's broke up into 13 paddocks for different reasons, rotational grazing as well as kidding pastures. We kid out in January, and kidding out in January, we like to break our does up by maybe personality. The older does, the first timers, we'll have in this pen where we can kind of keep an eye on them. Kidding out in January, anybody who lives in Oklahoma, Texas, you know, the weather can get pretty either wet or cold, sleet, whatever. Nice. So you've got to deal with that. We put our old battle axes in one pen. If you put your first timers in with the battle axes, they're not going to do good. So that's something my wife's in charge of. She takes care of that and does a good job, and I just help direct them where they need to go. Our numbers vary every year because we cull. Every year we might cull either 9 to 15 does, somewhere in there. Which brings us back to, we try to keep a lot of our good, anything that we AI, we keep in our herd just to change genetics up. But we also try to keep the cream of our crop and keep building our herd on what we like. The numbers are all the same. Our does are pretty even on the doelings. Out of this year, I think 125 bucklings. We had 8 that we ended up keeping for possible herd sires, and we grew them out. So yeah, it'll vary from, like last year 116 does to this year breeding does we'll have about 126, but that's adding some and culling 11 girls out, so it changes.
And how many, you said how many acres you run?
160.
160. All right, guys, I want to ask Tim about his performance on farm tests. I know that there's buck tests around the country, but Tim, he runs his own, and I just want to kind of get his insights on how he goes about it and what he does.
Well, since we got started, Dr. Sparks encouraged us to use the OSU spreadsheet, which is free. You download it offline off the OSU. I guess it's the college puts this out, and I don't know if he produced it or what, but it's got calculations in there for first-time moms, and compares the numbers. It will rack and stack your herd and tell you who's producing the better kids, as well as if you're using multiple bucks, it will tell you which buck is actually doing better. Tracy takes it a step further. At that, you get your birth weights, and then you get your 90-day weaning weights. And if some of your does, like we have them in weaning groups, the first one might be, there might be a 10-day span between that weaning group, and she will calculate that and figure your average daily gain and get them all at a 90 days average. Well, she uses that average daily gain, and we use that as a cull factor, because we take those numbers, and if a second time or third time or fourth time mom is consistently in that bottom 10%, then that's time for that doe to go. So I think that's important. You got to always have a number or something, not just your opinion on a doe, because I'm fooled. I'm looking at this doe and thinking she's producing these great kids, but if the numbers don't add up, Tracy's correcting me all the time. And sometimes it's hard to cull that what you think is a good doe. It's not the best doe you've got.
Right.
So the numbers don't lie. We call it culling by the numbers, and if you do that and you stick to your average daily gain, for instance, we're looking for a 0.5 or a 0.45 minimum on our bucklings, and our doelings, I think we're looking for a 0.35. Now those numbers shouldn't be used by everybody in the country, because everybody's farm in southwest Oklahoma, if you look around at our grass right now, it's like 6:30 or 7 in the morning. Isn't it about 7 in the morning? Okay, we've got a heavy dew every morning, and our grass is about 4 or 5 inches tall, so our does are eating close to the ground all the time. So there's our parasite load, and our girls they're making 3 rounds on a half mile section, but they're eating off a real short grass, so they're being challenged all the time, I believe.
Yeah.
Compared to somebody back east, I see a lot of pictures on Facebook, their forage is this high and they got their head up eating. Well, everybody's farm is different, so my numbers don't mean nothing to you on your farm, and you've just got to have your standards and how you're going to improve your herd, and that's our way of doing us.
Yeah.
You improving our herd. So what works for me not work for you.
Right. All right, I'm in here with Tim, and I'm going to get him to talk about our new buck we're getting, Megawatt, kind of why and how he come about, and let Tim talk to you about him.
Megawatt was our first experiment with, when we first got into goats, we were going strictly commercial. And it was an accident that we ended up with some rare straws. I've always admired what Titan's Hammer did, and Keeper and BB&M Dale. Those are just some of the lines that we got a hold of, as well as Super Sport. Super Sport's not one of those lines that everybody chases, but it's been a great line for us, so we're doing some AIing with that. But Megawatt was our first experience doing a flush. I'm a big admirer of the conformation that Golden Boy throws and the growth that has been consistent with Titan's Hammer. So we crossed Titan's Hammer over a Golden Boy granddaughter, and we had the half brother to that doe, which was Jules. We had a doe out of Blue Heart, which Blue Heart, we bought a doe the day that we bought Blue Heart and Jules. We bought a doe that was, I thought, the best doe in that guy's herd, and when I found out it was out of Blue Heart, I thought, well, that's going to be the other one we flush. Well, when we did the flush, we only got one egg out of her. Okay, we had 2 does, one out of Icy Heart, which is a Blue Heart daughter, and one out of Jules, and then we had 2 bucks that were out of Jules. What's funny was we put these eggs in different does, but as we grew them out, all their numbers were perfectly level. So we knew it was genetics. It wasn't the does raising them, because I mean, we didn't put those eggs in bad does. That'd just be stupid to go buy some sale barn does and throw some expensive embryos in them. So we give them every chance. We had data on all these does, and we knew what they would produce with our bucks. But when we saw the numbers that that they were producing on growth, and they were growing out the way we like them, we knew we hit a home run. I couldn't keep 2 bucklings. I sold his twin brother, and the day that the lady picked him up, I didn't even decide which one I wanted to keep till she decided, because they were pretty much identical. I mean, there was not a bit of difference in them. So we kept Megawatt. The other one's Golden Hammer, and I think he's doing about the same as this buck here. But what made him really stand out is I bred him to a lot of our best does, and he's a proven factor that he can change your herd. Some bucks are doe producers, some bucks are buck producers. He makes great girls and great boys. We've got some bucks that are just strictly doe makers. They'll throw a great buck every once in a while. But Megawatt, he's a home run. I mean, he produces with just about everything I've crossed him on. He's real consistent. We're gonna try. If I didn't have more straws of Hammer, that buck wouldn't be leaving my farm. You wouldn't be getting him home right now, I promise you that. But I'm confident, seeing the consistency of Titan's Hammer, and a lot of people around the country have got some Titan's Hammer out there. David Peters used it a lot over on the East Coast, but Jean Guffey has used quite a bit, and I saw the consistency in her herd. So I know what he's capable of doing. I think he's going to help your farm out, and I think as a breeder, we need to spread these genetics around, and I think that he can really improve your herd, and I kept a bunch of straws out of him, so he's not really leaving my herd. I'll be using him in the future.
We're out here checking out some of Tim's herd sires. He's got a senior and a junior herd sire out here, and these are some of his homegrown bucks that he's raised himself, and I want to show you guys what they look like. These are some big dudes. You said that the spotted one is a 3-year-old?
Yeah.
And the white one is
He's about 18 months.
Okay. I want to show these to you guys. This white one here, now he's really impressive.
Anybody who's ever seen a picture of Super Sport that's what I imagine him to look like as a young buck. And Super Sport was perfectly built. This buck here is he's pretty much the same breeding as BT, a different doe, but it's an Iron Horse doe out of Blue Heart. But he pretty much Blue Heart and Iron Horse produces that conformation we're looking for. And you know, we had a chance to get him back, and the guy used him for 3 years, kept all the does, and he came back wanting 3 more bucks. So we did a little trading, and we're going to use him this year. We might use him a couple years.
Tim and Tracy, they had 120 bucklings, and they kept the top 8, and here's some of them right here. A few of these are out of Megawatt, like this brown one right here. That's a Megawatt buckling that was born this year, and this is just some of their top prospects that they have. And look at this guy right here. That is one big buckling for a 2020 model. Here's another one of his herd sires. This is a New Zealand, and he's camera shy right now. There he goes. He is a massive goat.
He was in there last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he don't come out of there. That goat's 5 years old, and he's only been handled once, and we had him collected last year, and we had to knock him out to do it. Well, he's a handful. Rough character when it comes to fighting. He has no quit to him. That's Terminator though.
That's basically on one side.
Yeah, his top side's Terminator. That wasn't so bad.
No. We got him loaded. All right, guys, we got him loaded up. It took 3 grown men, and we need to get down the road because he is ready to tear this cage apart. But I want to thank Tim and Tracy for showing us around and selling us this amazing buck, and we're going to put him to good use. But I'm going to let Tim tell you about how you could go to get in touch with him if you wanted to buy some goats in the Oklahoma area.
Well, we're Deep Creek Kikos. We're in southwest Oklahoma, Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. We have a web page, Deep Creek Kikos, and we also the latest updates are always on Facebook, Kiko Meat Goats. But you can look us up online, and it'll pop up. If you pull up Kiko Goats in Oklahoma, we'll be in the first page or so. So we're not hard to find. If you have any questions, contact us, and my wife handles all the business, and she can take care of you. So.
All right, guys, that's it, and we're going to head back to Texas. All right, guys, 7 hours driving and 2 hours visiting, and we made it back to Texas. We got Megawatt. We got him home. He's at his new home now. We're going to get him unloaded and get him put in a pen, and probably put some girls with him. But I want you guys to check out these horns. That sucker's got horns like a longhorn cow. Yep, he's here now. There's him, and there's BT. Alright, it's been a pretty good trip. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tim and Tracy Plaster at Deep Creek Kikos, they got some really good quality Kikos, and we're excited to be adding that bloodline, that quality of buck to our herd. Like I said, they put a lot of work, or like they said, they put a lot of work and effort into them, and I'm just glad to be adding another buck to our program, and I think he's really going to improve our herd, change it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. thanks for watching. Like the video, please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we'll catch you on the next one.